Josh Downs is one of the most interesting prospects in the entire NFL draft in terms of wide receivers. And it may not be for the reason that you think. He's, by and large, a first-round talent, but has the size limitations of somebody that may be limited in scheme, which is going to be a big deal in evaluating where exactly he goes in the draft. But looking at him, you've got a bona fide stud. A wide receiver one in an already productive ACC, even over Zay Flowers and numbers-wise, is already impressive, and he was a key reason as to why Drake May found success only as a freshman, and he's going to be a really big deal coming into the NFL, since he's an extremely productive receiver who came from an extremely productive system. So let's look a little bit at Josh Downs and see where his limitations lie and what he succeeds at, and see if he's going to be a first-round talent or a second-round talent, and what teams are going to be getting when they do manage to draft such a good receiver. Let's get into the tape and look at Josh Downs. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Coker, and I'm your host for today's episode of Today with Tyler. I hope you enjoy. Josh Downs is renowned for his speed, which is blinding, but he has so much more to his game. He has tremendous footwork, blowing DBs away before breaking quickly into his route. He has the elite agility and is one of the best route runners in the class, starting and stopping in no time. He uses his speed with that start-stop ability, changing speeds for elite routes that will win against NFL defenders. Despite his size, press coverage can be a little bit too risky, as Downs is too fast to recover against. That speed, mixed with agility and elite athleticism, makes Downs an extremely high-value player for most NFL teams. Downs has the hands of a first-round receiver as well, catching the ball with confidence of a much larger receiver. Considering his size, he has a tremendous catch radius that works in all angles. He reels in the ball well, important for a receiver who will always be the smallest man on the field, and an elite trait. He plays like a big receiver as well as he can, pushing against press coverage and punishing over-aggressive defensive backs. He uses his hands well to fight against press coverage, which elevates his game and raises his stock significantly for interested teams. On top of every elite trait already mentioned, Downs is a slippery runner with the ball in his hands. He was used as a punt returner at UNC, showing special teams upside and tremendous yak threat with the ball in space. Downs will be especially valuable to teams who have young quarterbacks, as Downs has the ability to always get open, and is always ready to fight for the ball. That said, any team drafting him has to set him up for success, which will be away from the line of scrimmage and probably exclusively in the slot, since he has plenty of room to work with and DBs will be vulnerable to that speed. But Josh Downs looks pretty elite, and he has the chance to be an absolute stud in the NFL. That said, he does have the limitations that are going to keep him a little bit further back than we would really like to see him. He plays a little bit outside of his size, which is a good thing considering his size is very small. But looking at Josh Downs, it's definitely easy to say he could be a first rounder. Looking at someone starting really at the Chargers, all the way down to the second round, Josh Downs has a lot of opportunities, and the Chargers fit is one that I really want to point out. If enough wide receivers are gone, like Jordan Addison and Jackson Smith-Njigba, the Chargers are likely to draft somebody like Josh Downs, who is extremely fast and a slot guy, with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both kind of looking like one of them has to go next season. Josh Downs will be able to bring speed this year, which is something they're completely missing on their team, and fill in next year as an ultra-productive man for the Chargers, who have been needing just an extra little kick on their offense. Josh Downs would be a perfect fit, and Kellen Moore would love him as well. And then he could also go somewhere like the Ravens, only a pick later. And the opportunities are endless. He may be limited to the slot, but that barely limits the teams that are willing to draft him, since slot receiver can be very deadly. Thank you for listening, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.